I think you guys are going to be amazed, honestly. And so I'm just going to let you do your thing. How about that?
Well, here's what's exciting. I'm going to go really fast because I got to go to the restroom. How about you all? No, are you okay? Will you hold with me? Here's what I'm going to do. I want it to be more informal for me. I've got one of my daughters in the room, which I always tell Nicole stories, and my son-in-law, Brian. But, because I'm going to tell a lot of stories, but Nicole's first child was Ava. Okay? This is Good Friday, isn't it? You're all here on Good Friday. God bless you all. This is awesome. Because when I say this, Good Friday, when Ava was about 3 years old, was it about 3 or 4 years old you were living with us there for a little bit? Yeah. Okay? There's Nicole back there. And a blessing for any grandchild to live with you. You think it's a pain? It's not, right? When they're 3 or 4 years old, you want them living with you, right? So I got to tell you this is real. What's your name again? Jonna, glad to meet you. I'm Gene. Okay, so look at my eyes. What color are they?
Blue.
Okay, pretty easy. I'm the only Frederick boy with blue eyes, all right? My other 4 brothers have brown eyes. But I'm looking at Ava. Hey, you guys like Saturday morning cartoons? I do. Because I get to look at Bugs Bunny again. So here's the Saturday morning cartoon. Ava's like 3 or 4 years old. I can't remember, but it was me and her. Just me and her. This is grandpa time. And I'm looking at Ava's eyes, and I go, Ava, you have the prettiest blue eyes. She goes, really? And I said, yeah, what color eyes are grandpa's? She goes, blue. Where do you think Ava got her beautiful blue eyes? God. Right? Had nothing to do with me. Does that make sense? Here's the thing, we're Good Friday, right? Has nothing to do with us anyway, right? If you're into Mother Teresa's prayers, it's kind of hard not to get religious on a Good Friday, right? Go get Mother Teresa's prayer, right? Do you guys ever read her prayers? She says it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It's not about them anyway. You guys know the anyway prayer? Go read it today. It'll change your life. Because really, it doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking about you today coming to this great event, right? Be kind to everybody the rest of your life, and guess what will happen? Good things, right? Look, you guys don't even know like I know Brent Gobe, but when he said give him a call, do you think he meant it? It's real, isn't it? Isn't that cool? Okay, here's what I'm going to start off with, and I love Sean Kokoska. I've always loved Sean. He said define success. Here's the thing I like to do is, do you want to know how to be successful? How's that one? Does anybody know? I always like money, because I don't know about realtors, but they always react to money, don't we? So I got 20 bucks. Now, if you've seen me speak before, you can't say it, right? John Wooden is who? Who's John Wooden? Basketball coach, UCLA. Was voted in 2000 the #1 coach for the last 100 years, from 1900 to 2000. Why? Because he won 10 championships in 12 years at UCLA. 10 championships in basketball, NC2As, 7 in a row. Okay? You can imagine how good this guy was, right? In his book, go get it. You know, a lot of people read books on how to be salespeople. His actually, in the first paragraph, he says, here's the key to success. The key to success. From the guy that had more success than any basketball coach ever. What do you think the key to success was? I got 20 bucks. You can shout it out. You aren't sure. What is it?
Can you give me your 20 bucks?
Oh, no. What? Doing what? That's a good one. That's Tim and Julie Harris, right? That's a good one. That's what he's spouting off. Yes. Shine your shoes. We'll come back to that. Tying your shoes. That was close. Make your bed. Do what you love. Put your socks on. You heard that because he taught them how to put their socks on first, right? So think about it. Why did he teach them to put their socks on first, Mr. Basketball? Back there, you can't say anything. He knows me. He's seen me speak before. Okay? Nobody said it yet. I got 20 bucks. I got 21 bucks.
Something about you have a process. You have to do the process. So that's why you have to put Socks on, same weight.
And what is that in life? He's getting so close, I'm going to probably give it to him. He's getting so close. What? It's a habit. It's a habit. You can split the 20. You guys can split the 20. That would be a nice way to do that, right? Oh, you're so... See how nice that is? Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. That's what you should do. In other words, the key to success is developing great habits. You've heard it a lot of times today. I saw it gone over and over. But quite honestly, Brent Gove just made phone calls from 2 to 5 on Fridays and created a rev share income by 3 hours a week. He said, Gene, I just created a great habit. Okay? Think about it. If you're healthy today, you've got a good healthy habit. If you have a good spiritual self today, it's a good habit. Right? If you don't, work on your habits. Right? Everything is a habit. So when I read that, it was in the first paragraph of his book. It's a big, thick book on leadership. And I read it and I went, oh, I just need to create good habits. Okay? Now I've got a question for you today. This is a long room. I noticed that everybody, I stood in the back before and I don't know about you, but you guys in the back, I really look good. I'm a good looking guy from way back there. But here's what I want you to do. Could you guys in the back, could we all stand up for a second? Can we come forward for a second? Come on up. Come on up. Because I want to do something different. I'm sorry about the recording and all that kind of stuff. But anybody that's ever seen me, come on up. You won't be able to see it if I don't show you. Okay. I want to do something different here. All right. And everybody else can stand up. Come on up here. Come on up here. Come on. This is like a classroom. Isn't this better? Now, if you've got to go to the bathroom, you really got to go to the bathroom, right? Okay. Because this is a little, chotamate kudasai. Anybody know Japanese? Japanese, chotamate kudasai? That means wait a minute, please. And then you find somebody who can speak Japanese. I used to be a waiter in Guam. Anybody from Guam? No, nobody? I went to the University of Guam and I know a little bit of Japanese. Okay, here's what we're going to do. This is what I like to do. This is like think. That's what I'm going to do. Oh gosh, I got my notebook and everything here. By the way, thank you. Tell Nicole, thank you for the little Ava story. Where's Nicole? Thanks. Thank you for the little Ava story. See, I tell all my stories about my grandkids, because once you have grandkids, you forget your kids' names. Me and Brent have the same thing. We have 5 children, right? I haven't adopted one like he has. But here's what I want you to do. Here's what I'm going to write some numbers down. Oh, chotamate, that's not real deep, is it? Can you guys see that from close? Now watch this. Somebody tell me what the heading should be on each one of these. Where's my bean counters?
Monthly, annual.
There you go. There you go. Who is talking? Oh, okay, dude. Were you a bean counter before?
No.
No, because most realtors can't even take 3% of something. Okay, so this is monthly, right? This is annual. This is a percentage, and what is this? This is what you have to have in savings. At 4% of that is $36,000 a year. Let's just be blunt, okay? The reason I use 4%, if you guys go to a financial analyst, not financial analyst, what are they called? Financial something? Yeah, fill in the blanks for me every time I talk. Okay, just fill it in, Jen. So they will tell you when you retire, you can take 4% out. Have you guys been to one recently? Do they not say that? Anybody that's been there, right? At my age group, they go in and they go, by the way, you can save $900,000, but I'm going to only allow you to take 4% out a year, or $36,000, or $3,000 a month. Because if we take more than 4 when you start to retire, it might not last. Everybody get my concept? Okay. How many people right now, let's just stop at $3,000 a month. Would $3,000 a month change your life? Raise your hand. I don't know about you, but if I had $3,000 a month coming in without me not doing anything. In other words, yes, 2 hands. In other words, it's like we have $900,000 in the bank. Everybody with me? This isn't hard, thank you. So you have 2 choices in life. You can either save $900,000 after taxes. Ooh, how's that? Did that kind of hurt? Did that kind of hurt? It's kind of like going to the hemorrhoid commercials. You know, did that hurt? So in other words, what I'm saying, I've coached I haven't coached as long as these, but I've actually helped real estate agents. I've been a team leader and a regional director for Keller Williams, and I was at Realty Executive since 1989. Since most of the people in here have not been alive. But since 1989, I've been coaching agents, and I say, when are you going to retire? Guess what they tell me? Never. 5 or 10 years. And then I meet you 5 years from now. I say, when are you going to retire? 5 or 10 years. And that has been going on my whole doggone career. Okay? Now, 4 years ago, I met Glenn Sanford here in Austin, Texas, and I owned 6 Keller Williams offices. 3 in California, 1 on the East Coast, 2 in Texas. I owned a region for Keller Williams. Loved Keller Williams. Was there 21 years. I bled red. Right now I'm wearing red underwear. I mean, I was a red dude, right? You cannot get somebody, me and Susan and I are a team. Everybody said, oh, there's 5 people at Keller that will never leave. Gary Keller, Mo Anderson, Gene and Susan Frederick. We were one of them, right? Then I meet Glenn Sanford, and he shows me a way that I can help every agent in America make that. Residual. You guys don't know me and Susan? We are not in this for the money. We are in this to have every single doggone real estate agent in America be able to have a way out. That's why eXp is working. You want to see how we can do that? Watch this. Yeah. Oh, that's Nicole. So I want you to put you guys right here. That's your name, right? Now, all our careers, by the way, I owned 6 Keller Williams offices. I was the owner. I was a regional director. I got money off the top. But every model I've ever been involved in, money gets taken off the top and given to who? The broker or the international company, because it's called, what's it called, royalty fee? Sorry, we don't have them at eXp, but that's what most people do, right? And they take it off and they give it to the owner. What we do is we take money off the top and give it to the agent. How many in here are agents? Raise your hand. Which model do you like better? The one that's going to take money and give it off to the agent? That's why, by the way, you don't have to write this down like everybody's saying write this down, just remember it. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Blink. Blink, everybody blink at the same time. Okay, now you'll remember it. Right? You've blinked. And in the book, Blink, he talks about if you've been doing something for a long time, it's usually called women's intuition. I'm a guy, we don't have it. But when I saw this model 4.5 years ago, my blink was, it's gonna work. It had 400 agents. 400 agents. And I came home to Susan, I said, I think I just found Netflix. She said, what are you talking about? I said, if you knew Netflix existed, would you own a Blockbuster? And she goes, no. And I said, we own 6 of them. Do you understand as an owner, when you realize if you're at Blockbuster and you know Netflix existed, what would you do? I sold all 6 offices and I sold the region. I sold a big Blockbuster. Got news for you, that look, Jen, that look was not good by Susan when I said, I think we need to sell everything we spent 21 years building. Try that one out, guys. Go home tonight and try that out on Mama. And I'd got news for you. Susan looked at me like, with that look, like, you have got to be kidding. We just built, by the way, in Austin, our 3rd last home. Have you guys ever done one of those? It's our 3rd last home. So here's you. How do you get $3,000 a month? This is how simple it is. Huh, Nicole? Okay, here's you. as you're selling real estate, it's a big myth. We want everyone in eXp selling real estate. It's the biggest myth I've heard from our competition. Well, they just want you to do some, recruit people. I go, what are you talking about, dude? We just got 5 of the top 15 RE/MAX teams of Texas in the last 6 months. 5. It's $1 billion total in sales. We're about production first and attraction second. So here's you, right? Jen, I'm going to use you. Let's do a 2-year plan. Anybody like 2-year plans? In 2 years, you put your name there, you attract 6 agents, 3 this year and 3 next year. Raise your hand if you could do that. Raise your hand. Come on. It's not hard. You're selling real estate. They're going to ask you, by the way, if you're in a market that eXp isn't, thank the Lord. Because what they're going to say is, who in the heck's eXp? And you're going to go, cool, right? It's called opportunity. So you have 6 people. Now, everybody knows what our cap is, right? Our cap is $16,000. Everybody's on an 80-20 split until you cap out at 16. We do not have a royalty fee. Now, who's on the East Coast or West Coast? Raise your hand. That is cheap, right? East Coast, West Coast, when I say $16,000 cap, I've had people go, you had me at 16. It's kind of like that one movie, you had me at hello. You had me at 16. In the Midwest, $16,000 cap's kind of normal, right? Everybody's been doing it. So guess how much we're going to give you. Let me see, what's your name? You're really nice. Michelle, I'm sorry. I usually meet everybody before I talk, but I had meetings this morning. So Michelle, guess how much we're going to give you as a thank you? It's like a referral fee. Off the top every year, as they close homes, let's pretend they're all going to pay in the 16. They don't have to. Just for my purposes, I want to give you the most you can make out of the 16. So Michelle, as a referral for you, we're going to give you how much of that? $2,800. Pretty good referral fee, huh? 2,800 times 6. Now you'll know why I use the number 6. Thank you. Bean counter in the back. Somebody with a calculator. So I said, look it, in 2 years you attract 6 people, 3 a year, pays for your cap. You're at 100%. True 100%. Don't you love when you say, oh, I'm at a 100% company? And I said, you're at a 100% company? What's the 100%? Well, I got to pay this, right? I go, it's not a 100% company. This is. Now, Michelle, I'm going to tell you this. In real life, what's going to happen in 2 years, and I've got people here that'll tell you, I'm conservative. In 2 years, those 6 people will bring 6, 1 apiece. Is that conservative or not conservative? Thank you. I just want to let you know that I like to be conservative on this because people go, oh yeah, you're talking about big numbers. Watch this. Guess how much money, Michelle, by the way, these 6 people could be anywhere in the United States. 4 provinces in Canada. We're in all 50 states. And of course, you heard Brent Meister when he said, we're going to go all over the world, right? We're going to go into about 3 countries this year. Can't tell you which ones. They'll probably be announced in June. Now, what I'm going to tell you is a thank you. By the way, you spent a lot of time referring these 6, but they got 1 apiece in 2 years. Guess how much we're still going to reward you because, these people get $2,800 on them, right? But we got to give you, what do you think it should be, Michelle? Nobody say anything. I like you. She said double that. But it's $3,200. Most people say it's 50% of that, right? The most common thing is well, it's going to be half 30, because, you didn't attract them. And this is when Glenn Sanford, watch this, 19,200. That's 36,000 a year. 3,000 a month. Most people think in monthly, don't they? Right? And so for 12 capping agents, I've changed your life. You all said you could do it. It's real. What's cool is there's going to be someday, there'll be a book written about us, and it's going to be how we gave real estate agents freedom. I don't like the word, everybody talks about wealth, but what really wealth is what? Freedom. That's it. That's all it is freedom. To make choices. I have not looked at a bill in years. I don't look at expenses because I don't need to. It's freeing. I don't know what the gas prices are in Georgetown, Texas. Right? So, everybody okay with this? Now watch this. There's a third level, a fourth level, a fifth level, a sixth level, and a seventh level. I'm just talking about the first two. Do you think these people might know people? Yes. Think these people might be? Now let me tell you why this is big. When Glenn first showed this to me, I went, wow, it's more money than the first. He said, Gene, I want it to be the best. That one good? Now, is that all doable? Say yes or no. Yes. Okay. That's how doable it is. Watch this. Can I do one more? Yes. Don't you like this? Don't you like standing up more than sitting down? It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like Ironside. Do you guys remember that one? Okay. $15,000 a month, $180,000 a year, right? 4%. Does anybody got a calculator? What's it going to be? $4 million, right? Uchi move. Well, that was a good move. Okay, watch this. Oh gosh, I love it when Nicole's in the room, because this is my Nicole story. 4 years ago, true story, right? We're in my home here in Austin. She's dating Brian. I didn't even know his last name because, until you say something like, I want to marry you, I didn't know Brian's last name. That was my key to raising girls. They dated so many guys. So anyway, look at Nicole. There was no problem, right? So it's true. Once he proposed, what's Brian's last name? It's Rousseau. Oh, cool. I like that last name. Okay. Nicole's at my house. Tell me, anybody have a napkin or something? I'm nose. I like this. Tissue. I'm a guy. I could use, your blouse. No, I'm just kidding. You're so nice. I got one. Thank you. Okay. Chotomate. Chotomate kudasai. Hi. Okay. Isn't this kind of fun? Okay. I literally tell her if this is not right. I sat her down in my living room and I said, Nicole, because I know Nicole. I said, Nicole, she had a part-time real estate license. She had a full-time job, making close to $100,000 a year, raising single mom, okay? And I said, Nicole, let's do a 3-year plan with you. I said, what's that? She goes, well, on your first level, could you attract 10 people? Of course, you guys get to know Nicole. She goes, of course. 3 a year. And fourth on the last year, I said, I want you to attract 10 really good agents. You're going to get paid how much per person, right? Remember the 2,800? That's 28,000. I said, now, but Nicole, here's your goal. I don't want you to just attract 10 people. I want you to teach them how to get their what? 10. Now, in real life, here's what happens. One of them gets 40. It's a Brent Gove. One of them gets 30. One of them gets 20. And a couple of them get 5. And 5 of them literally love our company, have never, don't really care. In other words, no activity. That's okay. If you do no activity in attracting agents, what's the result? Just so you know, a lot of people do nothing, right? So I write this down. I said, you could have 100 people on your second times $3,200. Watch this. $320,000 a year. That's $348,000. And literally, Nicole looks at me, true story, and she goes, well, they all won't be cappers. They all won't be pay $16,000 in, right? That limited, right? They can't all be cappers, and she's right. And I said, well, let's just pretend they're half cappers. So we take half of that, and it's roughly $175,000 a year, or $15,000 per month. You guys ever watch, don't you love that movie, what is it, Wolf on Wall Street? Yes. I remember that scene when he's standing in there in the restaurant, and he goes, how'd you get that Corvette down there? He goes, what do you mean? Well, you got Corvette. I live in this. He goes, well, I made $72,000 last month. And that actor goes, you did not make $72,000 last month. It was 1986. He says, you show me a check for $72,000? Remember the scene? He goes, and I quit my job and I come work for you. And the next scene is, hey, Polly, I quit. That was Nicole. She literally looks at me, making $100,000 a year, single mom, hard to go to nothing, right? Seriously. She goes, I quit my job and I come work with you. That was 4 years ago. Isn't it a blessing? Can you tell everybody what you made last month? $16,000. Do you understand? This is real. In 4 years, now in the span of 4 years, she worked for me for 4 months. Then Brian says, move to Dallas. They get engaged. Then there's the wedding. Then she gets pregnant. Then she has Lincoln Apollo. So let me tell you, it hasn't been 4 years. It's really been about 6 months and about the last year. Now here's the coolest part. She made $16,000. What month is this? See, I'm in the mode that I don't know what month it is or what day it is. Have you ever had these lives? I have to ask my wife, I said, let's go to church on Sunday, please. Because if we don't go to church on Sunday, I don't know what day it is. So it's $16,000. Here's the coolest thing. She just made it. We get the checks on April 22nd. So on April 22nd, she'll get a $16,000 check, and that's the least she'll make the rest of her life in April. Do you understand now the difference between residual checks? Because her team keeps growing. It can't be less because it's taken off what? The top. That's $16,000. It literally is a freakish thing. When I told my wife after doing this for a year and a half, and I was starting to make $20,000 a month, I said, I will never make less than $20,000 a month ever again. Can you guys say that? You can't do it without a team. Okay? Now, how's this sound to you? Do you think you could kind of do this in 3 years? See, a lot of people go like Tim and Julie Harris go, well, I'm going to do that in like in a week. Right? And that's what I want to hear, but in reality check, it's okay. I don't want to set any goals for anybody. All I'm saying, it's attainable to everyone. And I want to change agents' lives. I'm of coaching agents that go, what was Monday? Extension day. It was not tax day. You guys do awesome at two things. Not saving money and not paying your taxes. By the way, you guys are pros. Here's the thing. See, here's the way I look at it. Nicole had a choice if she was selling real estate full time. I said, Nicole, here's your choice. Here's your choice. She goes, what do you mean? I said, you have a choice. Life's just a bunch of choices. I could have kept my offices at Keller Williams. I was very secure. I was retired. Hey, do you know how I talked Susan into it? You're going to love this one. This was one of my closes with Susan. You're going to love this one. I said, Susan, I'm the same age that Colonel Sanders was when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. Am I reaching for closes or what? But I was trying because I looked at her and women are, and Susan, you'll love her. But it is security, right? We had more money coming in, right, than we've ever had in our life. We built our last dream home, and everybody's supposed to just be content. And I just found Netflix. Do you guys know of anybody that was that literally, I know a guy that was in Microsoft in the beginning. Could you imagine being there in 1978 and seeing these dudes? Guys, in our industry, I was at Keller in 1994 when it was less than 1,000 agents. I felt the wave at Keller. I was there. This is a tidal wave. This literally is a tidal wave because agents have never had the chance. You got a choice. Go attract 10 agents and teach them how to get 10, right? There's one choice, right? I call it my 10 by 10. Okay? Or there's one choice. What's the second choice? Go save $4.5 million. Does this help bring it home? Really, it's just a choice, because a lot of people go, well, I'll just save the $4.5 million after taxes. And if you live in California or New York, good luck. Right? So there's just a choice. You want me to give you a last one? And I'll be real, because Brent wouldn't talk numbers. But how about making $416,000 a month, $5 million? How much would I have to save? $125 million. That's me. Now, when I say that, please don't tell anybody. Is that okay? Can you guys promise? Seriously, I say that because it's blowing me away. But I tell you that in regard to, I started 4 years ago. Where are you going to be 4 years from now? Okay? By the way, I never, ever thought that would happen. Did I ever tell you? We never, Brian was there too. We had discussions. I never said, 4 years from now, I'm going to be in this beautiful hotel in Georgetown with awesome people, with Tim and Julie Harris. You've got to be kidding. I knew them, but I never thought they'd come. There'd be Sean Kokoska in the room. Oh, yeah, right. Oh, Brent Gove, by the way, who changed our company. There'd be all these really cool people, and you know what? You'll be talking and going, it's not even, it's almost like an actor or an actress that goes, I can't believe I'm getting paid $5 million for a movie, right? But I'm just beginning. Isn't that kind of cool?
Gene, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
2 questions. How many, this is a very specific question, but how many people roughly for you to get there in 4 years did you specifically personally sponsor?
66.
Okay, and how much does your RevShare group grow per month while you're frankly on vacation most of the time?
About 450 people a month.
Right, so could you explain those 2 numbers, why they're relevant?
Well, because I only attracted 66 people.
Ever.
And by the way, 66 people in 4 years is how many a year? I'm not really good. Okay. But here's the thing, out of the 66, 51 are left. That's reality check, right? 15, this is transient business. 50, some have retired, some have passed away, so I only have 51 left. But what people don't understand, here's what people don't understand. And I had to, by the way, I was at Keller Williams for 21 years. I'm number 41 all time, as far as I know. You guys, they don't show the numbers anymore. But when I left at the end of 2014, I was number 41 all time in profit share. They call it profit share. So I understood when he showed me this. Now, by the way, if you're my age, and Nicole and Brian and I have talked about this, you don't do it for yourself. I want Lincoln DiPaolo to know who I am. I'm doing it for my grandkids. They quizzed 90-year-olds and they said there's 3 things they regret. You know what they regret? If you quiz them, this is a true story. They regret not celebrating a lot. Okay? They regret not risking a lot. And then they regret not leaving something for their family. Got news for you. I've been thinking this a long time. I can make a lot of money every month, but I've heard stories today I won't even say in this room, but when somebody passes away and they don't have anything to leave to their kids, was their life, I want it to be better. So what was I going to write down? Oh, you said, well, I was all-time number 41, right? So I knew the 7 levels. What I wanted to share with you is you have no idea what the power of this is. I can tell you right now, if you have 50 people here, over time, let's say 3 years, let's say me 4 years, it will be 5 times it down here. So that's what? Wow. This is exactly what's happening to people, right? Nicole, that's what's happened to you. So you go, well, how can you have so many people? I said, well, and then it's 2 times that, and it's like 500. And then it's 1 1/4 times that, and it's 1,250. And then it's, oh gosh, it's 1 1/4, it's about 1,500 here. and then it's 2,100 here, and it's 2,200 here. Now, everybody goes, there's no way. See, to me, it took me a year to get to 183 people, Sean, total. And I only did 15 people here after a year. So I'm thinking, I'm a bean counter. I'm an ex-bean counter. 183, that's awesome. I only got 15. Guess what it was 12 months later? Because of compound, the compound thing, 1,300. And that's when I went, Gene, this is crazy. I didn't see it coming. It can happen for you too, because it can be anywhere in the nation, right? Get yourself out of thinking like a franchise. Like, wait, I talked to somebody today and they go, well, I want to really do it in this town. I said, well, it doesn't matter about that town. You're going to be in 6 or 7 states before you know it. And she goes, how is that? Well, I know Susie and Susie's brothers in Century 21 in Chicago. The guy in Chicago knows somebody in Indiana. Somebody in Indiana, by the way, they all go to Florida. Florida? Everybody in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan have a second home in Florida? So they know agents in Florida, the agents in Florida know people in Georgia, the people in Georgia know people in South Carolina. And I've seen it over and over again. Is this helping you guys? Because you gotta quit thinking about your own local town. Okay? Because your own local town, you go, well, Gene, we've already got eXp there. We're like, it's like Austin, Texas, right? We've been here 4 years and they seem like it's over. How many new agents do you have in your board every year? So guess what? Every year you have that many people that don't know about eXp. Okay?
Hey, Gene, on that network effect, real quick before you move on. So for you, it took you 21 years to build 6 offices. That kicked out a certain number.
Yes.
With eXp, what was the same time frame to match that same income?
It was about a year and a half.
Wow.
Now here's what I will tell you real time, and they'll admit to it. I started this month in 2015, right? And a year and a half goes by, and it's November. I love Thanksgiving. I mean, I love Good Friday too. But I love Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving, we all sit around with all 5 kids, 5 grandkids, and we all go, what are you thankful for? And we have to go around and say what they're thankful for. It's kind of fun with 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds. And we get around. The last one in the room was my beautiful wife, Susan, and guess what she said? I'm thankful eXp worked. True story. Probably for a year and a half, the gut wrench is it really going to work? But after about a year and a half, I was making about $20,000 a month. I did nothing like Brent does. I mean, these people have blown way past me because guess what? My first year was, yeah, we have 500 agents nationwide. We have nobody in Texas. You want to join? I had people, Kevin Cottrell, I had other people. They all went, oh yeah, let me know, right? Let me tell you a story. This is really good, and Nicole knows this one, but do you guys sell new homes in your area? Raise your hands if you guys sell new homes, right? We sell new homes, right? I said, here's what I did 4 years ago. So if you're in a new area that nobody's there, right? That nobody's there, you go look at. Let me ask you a question. In Texas, when we sell new homes, we put a trailer in the middle of nowhere. And they're starting to build the streets, right? So the trailer goes up. There's no model home, just the trailer. I said, have you ever bought a home out of a trailer? I said, now let me ask you a second question. Or do you have to wait for the neighborhood to be in, the road's in, and they put the model homes up? I said, have you bought a home that way? With nobody else but the model homes? Or do you have to wait for the whole neighborhood to be done? And you buy a resale. I said, by the way, it's okay. Which one are you? I said, I'm looking for the trailer people. Okay? We have nobody here at Omaha, Nebraska. So if you've bought one out of a trailer, you're with us. By the way, if you haven't, you're going to come when the model home's up. If you're not a model home people, you're going to come when we're number 1. Guess what? In Texas, in 4 short years, 3,200 agents at the end of this month. 3,200. 5 of the top 15 RE/MAX people have joined us in the last 6 months. I mean, I could go bing, 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 bing. The key is we're kind of in the model home stage, right? Right now, in some states, because you can see it. It's real, you can feel it. we really aren't in a town right now that we're buying resales anyway, right? Now we're number one what? San Antonio, last night at the awards banquet, we got the number one team and the number one individual in the whole city of San Antonio. We've been in San Antonio 3 years. We're kind of like they know about us now. Okay? Any questions for me? You know, it's really kind of fun. I wanted to be real with you, and thank you for standing up for this long. This is awesome. Because you have two choices in life. By the way, like Brent says, you can work with buyers, you can work with sellers. And then you wake up tomorrow, and here's what I'm going to show you. How much you'd have to save, right? $4.5 million to get $15,000 a month. Do you have $4.5 million in the bank? Say yes or no. Okay, so she does not have $4.5 million in the bank. But how much would you pay her to get the $15,000 a month? A lot of money. Okay? So I want you guys have two choices. You can either go your whole lives and work with commissions. Watch this. So you can make money. Good luck. Save. How much of America saves? Do you know how low the thing is? It's real low. Check out the numbers. Pulled it up on the internet tonight. So this is a choice. Okay, I'm going to save, Gene. You don't understand. Oh, I like the second one. I'm going to buy rentals. I'm going to buy rentals for 20 years. Try that sucker out. Just so you know, you'll be selling those suckers, right, Judy? You'll be selling those. You'll be selling the minute you can get one paid off. You're selling them and going, ah! Okay? Here's what I'm going to show you at eXp. It's just a fact. This is why we're growing so fast. You're going to do this no matter what. While you're doing this, you're going to acquire stock in EXPI. Okay? Whatever the amount of stock is, you can take 5% of your commissions monthly and buy stock at a 20% discount. 20%. Anybody making 20% on their money? I'm not. Anybody else, let me know. So as you're doing this, with doing nothing else, you're going to acquire stock. I have people that have been with us 3.5 years. I could read you texts from them that would make you cry. They go, Gene, I have 15,000 shares. It's now at $10 a share. Oh, I have $150,000. And they've never capped. Okay? So what I want you to think of is how much can you earn here? How much can you earn here? And of course the last thing was what? Revenue share. Okay? I'm just giving you guys more options. I'm just giving more options. Now you add those three up. Brent Gove didn't tell the story. Where's Brent? Is he in here? Brent, remember when you said, what did they say to you when you tried to leave and you went? Because you understand, he's the top producer in the office, $100 million a year. He's about ready. They cornered you in the room for how long?
Get out of here. No, they didn't.
Tell them.
No, they said, please don't leave. And that the main thing was they checked out the stock and that it would be worthless. It was $2.90 a share in a penny stock. And today's round tripled since they said it would be worthless. Thank God I didn't listen. And we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of stock.
So what did they say when I remember you telling me, they said, well, the stock's going to go away. It's going to go to nothing. And you said, and you...
They go to zero, to go to zero. And I said, okay, where you get the facts from? Like, and then the particular result, I just know it, my gut, I know it. And I'm like, okay. And I said, well, let's say you're right. Let's go there and say 6 months or a year or two. He said within 2 years. It's been 2 years, 5 months. I go, say it goes to zero. I go, I love you, man, and I love this company, but I'm going to leave. How much stock do I have after 8 years? And he goes, 0. I go, yep. So you're begging me to stay somewhere where it's been 0, and if I stay 8 more years later, it will continue to be 0. 12 years of Remax is 0. So I go, I'll take my chances with the other company.
So in other words, I always tell people in 1986, I went to Remax. And by the way, I was top 20 in the state in the 80s. Nobody cares. I sold 120 homes a year, 3 years in a row with me and one assistant. I was telling him earlier, my net was 92%. My net was 92%. I was number 17 in the state 2 years in a row. And the first person that got the award every year, which made a lot more money than I did, went bankrupt. It's not about ego. It's not about saying, ooh, I'm number one. I never went to an awards banquet. RE/MAX would not give me the award in 1987 because I didn't attend. My manager said that if you don't attend and drive to Houston, you can't get the award. And I said, well, look I'm not going. I never got to throw it away. So here's my thing. Awards are nothing in life. They're not going to have awards up. They're not going to have awards up for us, guys. What they're going to have is, what quality of life did you live? Did you have options? Did you have freedom? Hey, watch this. Chotamate kudasai. Everybody know what that means? Hold on a minute. Chotamate kudasai. Hi. Chotamate kudasai. Watch this. Hey, you're going to love this one. Tim, you're going to love this puppy. How many places do we pay? 7. By the way, I have people way past 7, right? I just don't make money on them, right? But here's the cool thing. Guess what this spells out? You're going to love this one. Freedom. God, am I good? I am just, damn. I even put on shoes for you, Tim. I even put on shoes for you, dude. Here's my thing. I really believe that it's a Good Friday. I really do believe I was lucky. I mean, when I say lucky, I mean there was a little angel on my shoulder saying, dude, take a look at this. I really was. Now I'm not the one doing it now. It's so funny. A lot of people give me credit because I was the first dude. But quite honestly, you guys you're gonna change so many lives. So you don't know me yet. But you're going to call me one day and go, Gene, I got this. You wouldn't believe it. She's attracted 6 people, and they've attracted 6. She's making $3,000 a month. Now, I don't know about you, but in the Midwest, $3,000 a month pays your house payment and your car payment. Is that not true? Most everybody. Right? We're changing lives. This is not about, it's freedom. To me, I quit doing wealth charts. I'm starting to do freedom charts. If you want freedom and you want choices, go about it. I'll end with this, and I want to stretch your minds just a second. Is that picture, does that look good? No. He's not even taking a picture of me, and I really look good today. So anyway, I'm going to end with this because he loves this story, but it's really real. I was a team leader for Keller Williams. 2009, I moved here. I've been in Austin for 10 years to be around Nicole, to be around the kids, and then they all leave. Thank you very much. So anyway, I moved here, and I was a team leader. I was a manager, whatever you want to call us for an office. And we had a happy hour. This is a great story. We had a happy hour in 2011 right next to Dell. Dell was having a happy hour next to us. And here comes, guess who? Michael Dell. Now, I've never met Michael Dell, but got news for you. I just pulled him up on the internet before I came up here. He's only worth about 30 billion. He's top 30 in the world. 30 billion. So in 2011, here comes Michael Dell, and people in Austin know him. This is like probably the most famous guy in Austin, right? He could hardly get through this realtor happy hour. You guys were abusive. You guys are, oh, you don't know Michael, my daughter works for you, she loves you, they're, like you said, they're handing out cards. Michael, take my card, right? So Michael walks out, a true story, it was outside, and literally where you're standing was Maybach?
Maybach. Yeah.
Maybach, I can't pronounce it well. Maybach.
Yeah.
Mercedes Maybach limousine, right?
Yeah.
Their limo.
Yeah.
He literally walks right this, and everybody turns, and the driver opens the door. Michael gets in the back seat, and they take off. And guess what all the snooty realtors said? Oh, really? He can't even drive himself home. Oh, yeah. And it was brutal. It was brutal. I mean, they are like snapping. Can he does? What is that? And I said, I've only seen him in car magazines. It's about a $500,000 limo. Oh, does he really need that? Does he really? And a driver? And I listened to it. And then I had enough. I had enough. I said, okay. And they surrounded me. I was the team leader. I said, stop. They stopped. I said, can I ask you all a question? If that whole setup, the car, the $500,000 car, the driver was a nickel a day, would you have it? Every single one of them said, of course. I said, that's $17 a year. I said, that is a nickel to him. And I said, someday I'm going to have my nickel. Don't you begrudge me my vision and my goals. And don't you tell any of my kids to not have their nickel. I'm had it. You guys stay in your old world. I'm out of here. Right? So, what I want you guys to do is really look at things at a bigger level than you've ever thought.
Gene?
Yes.
What did we talk about at lunch today?
Yachts.
Yes. How much is the yacht that you're considering buying?
15 to 20 million.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
But here's the thing. I've been talking about it since then. Didn't happen last week. It's going to be a nickel.
It's about thinking big. It's
about thinking big.
It's about not just thinking big. We're using 3,000 as the example, but it's about thinking massively big.
Right.
That's the core of this group. And by the way, who knows what Libertas means? Some of you guys don't even know what I'm talking about. What does Libertas mean? Our group that we formed, that's Julie's group legally, technically. Yeah, Julie, the fastest recruiter in the history of eXp right here. Okay, so it's true. So the point of it is our group, and what we're wanting all of you, most of you are already part of our group, but we're asking the rest of you to consider being partners with us in our group, because Freedom, Libertas, our group inside eXp is called Libertas. Gene is basically, we call him the Godfather, right? You know, you met, many of you know Kevin Control, you know some of the other people. Everybody that was in this room today is or hopefully will be considering being partners with us in Libertas. Because I'm going to tell a story that some of them have heard. I didn't want to do it. eXp had been soliciting us on and off for 6 years. Some of you guys have heard me tell the story. And they wanted, for just various reasons, obviously they wanted our influence from our podcasts and whatever. We always said no. And then May of 18, I'll never forget this, I had a panic coaching call. I won't say his name out because he's not quite yet in eXp and he doesn't want his broker to know, but that's aside the point. So I had a panic coaching call from an office manager, followed by a bunch of other calls, and they're all saying, what the heck is going on at the eXp, because they were losing their agents. And one particular call was a whole office had basically left the eXp. And I had not been paying attention to eXp because I had been focused on what Julie and I were doing in our business. And by the way, Julie and I's own personal Libertas, we've been married for almost 30 years. Our personal goal was to have a bunch of paid off rental properties and to live off the cash flow. We accomplished that goal about 6 years ago. And let me tell you, even when you have enough paid off rental properties, I look back and I mean, the amount of time and energy, you're the one that manages them.
I have a couple management texts waiting for me right now. And this is goal of ours, and we accomplished it, but this is better.
Yeah,
This is
I mean,
better for all of you.
when we got started, I mean, think.
Well, so, this news story. So here's the thing, we were talking about, and I had a few coaching clients, and my initial reaction was, who would want a broker in the cloud? Because she knew what a broker is. And for a while, we didn't pay attention, until he was getting calls from clients going, and from brokers saying, my agents are leaving. We started to take it more seriously. You had your call with Chris Heller, one of our trusted friends of many, many years. And I think probably 3 or 4 other people.
Yeah, well, they had to get us to go to an event. We had to meet eXp agents, and we still said no. I said no. She wanted to do it. I was the blockhead, and what was standing in my way? Ego.
Well, so we met with Gene and Kevin several times, and I'm the more analytical one, as most of you know. And I love how Gene, I call you my head Professor Gene on your spreadsheets and your charts and your graphs. And I was kind of digging that, and it made a lot of sense. Okay, so we ruminated on it for maybe 90 days. And met with you several times, did some research, called some people, checked the story, and so we started to talk about it. And if you know us from our podcast, you know we've been broker agnostic for a very long time, and we don't like to have that kind of control, you know, in those relationships. So we had some conflict about that. But then I got to thinking, and I know not all of you know all of our stuff, all of our coaching.
You can stand up.
One of the things that we talk about is having multiple spokes in the wheel. Okay, Gene was just talking about that. You have your commissions. We want you to always have your commissions. It is a commission-based company and always will be. We want you to sell. So you have your commissions. Maybe you have some rental property. You do some property management. Maybe you do some other stuff. Some of you guys have other jobs, and that's great. We have always talked to you about having multiple spokes in the income wheel. So if that is, and we believe in that, we live that. We coach our clients to do that. So that if you have a relocation relationship and they decide to switch to another company, you are not screwed. okay? You have to have multiple things going on. So if we're coaching you all that all the time on a podcast, you get to thinking, wouldn't we be the biggest hypocrites in the world? if
Well, not
go out
we. She
west-
said that to me. We were driving back up. Well, she said she's so much. You guys know she's so much nicer than me. But we're driving up from the event that Gene did at Lost, whatever the hell it was, and she said to me, I said, Julie, this is for agents. This is the best thing I've ever seen. I mean, you couldn't find flaw in the business model. You just can't.
Well, especially after that event
And
where we saw the impact of even on the $3,000 a month level, being able to count on that, and the equivalent of having, what was it, $1 million something, 900,000 that you'd have
Right.
had to save. How many commissions is that after taxes? Okay? And we were talking, and I said, we kind of be kind of full of crap, but if we knew about this.
No, so she's being nice again. She said,
And
I'm
we
a
didn't tell
hypocrite.
you.
She said, I'm a hypocrite if I don't actually tell our podcast listeners and our coaching clients about it. Because I would have been a
Well,
hypocrite.
We had some consternation because we had been broker agnostic, because we didn't want to be perceived as, oh, now you're just pitching this, right?
That's ego.
Which is ego.
It is ego. That was my ego, mine.
And it took us a while to come around to that.
It was ego, you're
We
right.
were
So,
fearful.
so the same reason you won't call for sale by owners or whatever because you're thinking what they're going to say is the same thing about agents. If I had a nickel for every time I talked to an agent in the last 4 years that says, where in the heck have you all been? I said, hasn't anybody talked to you about it in Chicago? They go, nobody. And I said, do you understand if you don't call agents and tell them about it, they think you don't like them? See, you notice this, like Chris Heller was saying. They make up stories, right? And we make up stories like, well, everybody's called. In fact, you'll talk to one agent where you're from, and they go, oh, I've gotten 10 calls from eXp agents. And I always go, okay, so why? I said, I'm really confused. You work at Coldwell Banker. I haven't gotten 10 calls from Coldwell Banker. Do you guys not like me? That's literally the way I do it. So in other words, in your own market. So it's the same thing I wrote down when you guys were talking about sales today. I will teach you how to attract agents. We do not call it recruiting. We call it attraction for a reason, don't we? Because quite honestly, we just said, here it is. If you don't like it, it's okay. Because quite honestly, how is it if you ever try to sell somebody on it, Brent? What's it look like if you try to sell? No bueno, right? Because if you try to sell somebody on moving companies, they're not going to like it here anyway.
Jim, you remember our conversation about conversion rate? And I basically said to you, the value proposition sells itself. But I told you what I was going to convert. Raise your hand in this room if you've talked to me.
Yeah. I mean, basically everyone.
Probably triple that number.
Yeah.
Any of you feel like I gave you a hard sell? I just explained eXp. How many of you came over after one or two conversations? One conversation.
Excitedly.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So
it's
it's one of those things where if you explain the value proposition, and the thing that's happening now that Gene talked about is it's accelerating. Right? He talked about Nicole's success. Brent will get the perspective on this. In the last 8 weeks, I've added 100 people in the register. And a big part of that is what we're doing for Tim and Julie. A big part of it is all of you that basically had a conversation or two and said, I get it. I need to figure out my transition plan. And that's the majority of the conversation. So to Gene's point, it really is having conversations. The biggest challenge you'll have, and this is where Gene and I, Nicole, and others help you, is there is so much misinformation out there that the most common thing I hear from people is, thank you for just explaining it to me. Now that I get it, it works.
The cool thing he's saying about that is how many agents did you personally register or enroll for eXp personally on your front line in the last 8 weeks?
I
2,
probably
3, 4, 5?
3 or 4.
3 or 4, not that much. But because he's built an organization, Gary Keller told a few people, Dave Liniger, Coldwell and Banker, we didn't know their first names, but then they started doing all this.
Yeah.
So the 100 people, our historical average is 1,000 per person annually. So he just added 100,000 a year to his annual income in the last 8 weeks, and you've got all year to go. It's gonna be fun.
Well, it's accelerating. I mean, Gene did what he did, Brent did what he did when the company went from, in Gene's case, 500 agents to 18,000. We're going to go 18,000 to probably 32.5 this year. 32 to 60-something to at least 90. And so the acceleration of the company is getting there where the naysayers are. people like to come to me and they ask questions like, for example, like, oh, God, the company's not making any money. The easiest way that I dispel that, you guys think about this, is I'm like, you know, if you had a business and you had no debt, you didn't borrow any money, you made money from people paying you, and you had more cash at the end of the year, you made money, right? Simple concept. eXp every year has made 5 times more money for the last 3 years. We're making more money per year than we did the fourth quarter of the preceding year, every year. We're not borrowing money. So for the people out there who've ever looked at it, that's your mindset. We're minting money, right? We had $24.5 million last year. 4.6 the previous year. We made more in the fourth quarter in 2018 than we did all of 2017. We'll probably do every bit at the same pace, almost 100 million this year. But you can go 5 times that after that. Nobody has grown like this. That's why people are confused. We look like where I came from, Silicon Valley. Right? Companies like this don't exist in real estate stores, right? Everybody else that was on the Real Trends list got there, either because they're big and they've been there forever and they're just churning away, or they're like Compass and they're spending VC money and buying. We added 48,000 transactions last year. So for the people that are worried about, oh, it's just about attracting and we're adding agents. No, we're adding the most productive agents in the markets to the business. And they're hitting the ground like this.
So I can see the value proposition for the agents that you're running out. Is there a value proposition for the client? The seller, the buyer?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah, let you-
Can I answer that one? Because I hear that one all the time. Well, how are you going to benefit clients? We're going to have the best agents on earth. What I'm saying is that I think it's an agent business. It's just like they said in the beginning. If you're buying leads, you're in trouble, right? I think real estate agents dominate this business. I'll argue with Dave Linear, anybody who wants to. It's not a client-driven company, that's Redfin. They're going to list homes at 1%. Do you guys want to list homes at 1%? No. Raise your hand. No. Because just so you know, that's been around. That's YUSA, Help You Sell, Assist to Sell from the 80s. That whole model's been done where they say, well, how's it going to benefit the client? I said, I'll tell you how it's going to benefit the client. I'm going to hire Brent Gove. And Brent Gove does this and this and this and this and this and gets the deal what? And we make more money and less, top real estate agents outperform in the market because, man, they're getting money for their clients. Okay? You don't want to go to court. Who is Cochran? Remember Cochran? Johnny Cochran, right? He wants results. He hired the best of the best of the best. He didn't say, by the way, OJ didn't say, by the way, how much are you going to give me back when I get off? Right? Discount brokers have never made it in our business because they don't attract the top people. Right? They just don't. They don't because, quite honestly, I want to give service. So I've always heard that. What are you doing for the clients? Well, in your market, if whatever it is, outperform everybody else. Give so much back to that client, they're getting what? They're selling their home in what? Shortest amount of time for the? It's real simple, isn't it? Isn't that your listing script? You don't say, oh, by the way, when you sell your home with me, I'll just kick you some money back. How's that work? Doesn't create loyalty.
There's another point too. When you don't have to work for the money anymore, when you're making enough money, assuming the nature of the relationship you have with selling real estate totally changes. The selling real estate, say like you get your rev share to the point where it's covering all your personal overhead. It's funding all these big rocks, or Fred Gross thing from way back in the day, Sean will appreciate. But all the big rocks are covered financially, right? But then at that point, from your rev share, but then real estate, the nature of your buyer or seller relationships, it totally changes. You're actually going to do a better job because you're not so dependent on that transaction. And then the money you make from the transactions can go to whatever the hell you want it to go for because you've got all your bases covered with the rev share. I mean, that is a way to think about, going to Julie's point, the financial spokes on the wheel. That's the approach that we want all of you guys to consider it. Start with the idea that you're going to have replacement income. Being rich is, with the definition of rich, is when your money works for you and you no longer work for your money. So if you've got enough money coming in from your rev share, aren't you by definition? Yes, you are rich. And then do transactions. People don't slow down when they don't have to work for money. They speed up. You want me to prove it to you? Him. He didn't have to work anymore.
He's here with you today.
Him. Well, frankly, Julie and I too. We didn't have to stay in the business after we had passive income from our rental properties, but we did.
Well, let me give you an example. I lose $3,000 a month because I'm in Texas. $3,000 a month in California is the surfboard payment, right? I mean, $3,000 a month, you know, because who's East Coast, West Coast? You know, $3,000 a month. Come on, dude. You know, I'm paying that for my Tesla. So what I'm saying is, let me just take a show of hands. Let's just be real. $10,000 a month, would that cover it? Raise your hand.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you guys at that point, it's completely different. The rules completely change.
That's $10,000 a month would life. Well, guess what? I was with my financial advisors the other day. I've been doing this for 4 years, and now I got a group of financial advisors because now it's like way past what little Jeannie knows. And they said, well, how much is your, and my accountant goes, how much are you going to spend per month? You know, are you going to spend $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month? I said, are you guys kidding? I want a budget of $100,000 a month. They go, why? And I said, I'm going to have fun. I mean, I'm sitting here going, I'm past the 10 dudes. In other words, that means I want to be able to take, did we not have fun at Disney? Now, if you guys have not, I ran into people, we had 13 of we had a 4-day trip to Disney. Have everybody done the VIP people at Disney? Raise your hand. Right? We were talking about it. $450 an hour. We had 2 of them. So $900 an hour for 2 days. Was it not a great trip? It was the best trip. We had 13 of us. We had all our grandkids. And I'm sitting here going, and Susan said, do you want to know how much we spent on the trip? I said, no. No. I don't want to know numbers anymore. All I want to know is that's freedom. And I didn't even think, I think we spent $50,000 on the trip. It was for Christmas, right? No, we said, let's just take a trip every year. Do you think we're going to do it every year now? Of course, we're going to do it every year now. Because now it's like, don't give any gifts. Let's go on a trip again. But really, when I think of 50,000, it's not a number. It's called freedom. It's called freedom. It's life. It's a life. And I will tell you this. It's not money, because that people get confused. I want to create wealth. I don't care about wealth. I want to create freedom for my family. And they know that. That's my goal. I don't know. I come from a generation where you take care of your peeps. My granddad, Lewis, said, you better move to Guam and take care of your kid, your younger family, right? I didn't have to move to Guam. But when Grandpa Lewis says you move to Guam and take care of the younger kids, you move to Guam. That was not exciting. There were still Japanese on Guam in 1973. They actually caught somebody. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Whatever is in your heart, that you want to live that. They're not going to say, oh, gee, and here's how much money he was making when he dies. They're not. They're going to say, remember that trip we just took? Was that not just phenomenal? I mean, we all as a family went, let's do that. Let's hike. We wanted to take them home with us. Todd and Kristen. We wanted them to come home with us. I'll pay them $4.50 an hour to come live with me. But do you have that opportunity? I couldn't 4 years ago. I mean, I'm being blunt. I would have been scraping by. Dude, sky's the limit. By the way, everybody in this room, I will guarantee you'll be on my yacht. And when I say that, that's my nickel. I've been talking about it for a long time. I told those agents that were screaming, you need that? I said, well, look, if it's a nickel to me, I will have it. And it'll be 140 days.
Monaco Formula One race.
Right, Monaco will be there.
Lock
we'll
that
be in
in.
the Mediterranean.
You guys, it's on tape.
Yep.
That's
That's what
on
you
your
want.
yacht. Yes, absolutely.
But here's the reason why. I want to have your kids on the yacht. I want your relatives on the yacht. I want it to be the eXp yacht. Because you know why? Because we're all living this dream together. I have agents that call me all the time and go, Gene, guess what? Got another one for your nickel. They know my nickel story. They want me to have the nickel, right? Now it's not like, oh, you're making that much. Oh, right? If you're in a company that talks like that, run like the demon. Run like a demon and get your butt out of there. Because those people are dragging you down. I've got rid of all my friends in 1995. Have you ever done this in life? I remember coming home to Susan in 1995 and she goes, what's the deal? And I said, honey, we got to get a whole new group of friends. And I also did this in 1995, Sean. This was funny. I asked her, I said, did you pay the bills in your former relationship? And she goes, yes, that's when we got married in 1995. I said, I did too. I'm an ex-accountant. I said, I don't want to ever pay a bill. She goes, what do you mean? This is 1995. I said, and we'll see another bill. Every time Nicole gets on the cell phone, she spends more money. I said, it's bugging me. So since 1995, I've not seen one bill. I said, I'm going to do the income. You do the expenses. You know how well that works? I don't even know how much we have in the bank account. Isn't that relief? Quit worrying about expenses. Here's your problem. I'm sorry, who's that guy, Dave Ramsey dude? Love the guy. No, seriously, here's step one, here's step two, pay off all your bills. No. I'm telling you right now, cut it out. Focus on income. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. Quit worrying about expenses and do what? Income. Got news for you. That's what they don't teach. And by the way, I heard Dave Ramsey the other day. He's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with paying off your bills, but who cares? Do you understand? My wife at one point wanted to pay off all the bills. Seriously. Oh, we got, this is America, right? Live your whole life in one home and pay it off, and then what? Die. Who made that up? And now I've got her convinced right away. We just refinanced our lake house. Why do I have financing? Gene, why do you even have debt? You know why? Because it doesn't hurt. And everybody goes, we're doing the latest one. You're going to laugh. You guys are going to you're going to frown at me at this one. I'm borrowing $1 million. I'm paying interest only. And you know why? Because I don't care. In other words, everybody goes, oh, interest only. You'll never get it paid off. I said, are you kidding? There'll be a month I can pay it off.
It's 5:00 p.m.
There you go. Look at him. So anyway, does that make sense? I think the problem in America is we think expenses. We think, how much are we going to pay everybody an hour? Oh, we're going to do a minimum wage thing. Who in the heck cares about minimum wage? Quite honestly, cut the crap out. Well, we ought to pay people this. You know what? If you want to get paid, by the way, I figured out my income the other day. For the last 7 months, I'm making $2,000 an hour. Do you understand? So I've spent a lot of money talking to you guys. So in other words, the bottom line is, what's an hourly rate? Are you kidding? If your kids go, I'm getting paid. Look say, you should make as much money as you possibly. Would you ever tell your kids not to make a lot of money? Come on. I mean, our whole doggone thing's screwed up. Right? Doggone thing's screwed up. And if I was a teacher and I wanted to make a lot of money, I'd go find the school district I could make the most money and I'd move there. Quit complaining, teachers. My mom was a teacher. Go find the richest school district in America and become the teacher there. If you want to make a lot of money. My mom was a teacher, my dad was a banker. I was not a salesperson, right? You can learn every script. These guys are real. You learn your scripts, you practice them. By the way, every single story I've told you today, I've practiced. Yep. Every single fumbling I've practiced. If you've ever been a speaker, you understand. That's what we do. Okay? Thank you for coming today, and I appreciate it.